right, welcome back. Phoenix Suns off tonight. Actually, don't play until Friday. Feels weird. But Bobby Marks is joining us right now.
Bobby.
On the Arizona Sports on ESPN NBA front office insider. Always good to talk to Bobby Marks. What's going on, Bobby?
How are we doing? Good.
Doing good, man. Thank you, Bobby.
We're doing pretty good with this basketball team in town that I don't know about
fun
you.
when there's no expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, they've definitely already exceeded my expectations. That win over the Lakers on Monday in L.A., basically without Devin Booker, without Jalen Green, without Grayson Allen, you could probably find 2 or 3, maybe even 4 signature wins already for them this year, but that might be the top.
Oh, sure. I mean, especially how the Lakers have been playing and how well, with Luka, who, certainly struggled turning the ball over in Austin Reeves, and you get LeBron back, and, they're sitting in the 2-hole in the Western Conference, and you go into Los Angeles and you lose Devin in the beginning and you win by 17 points. So, yeah, that's definitely and you had lost 2 tough games, with OKC and Denver. Certainly that OKC game was a tough one. That is certainly a signature game for them, and it's much needed. I mean, you guys look at the schedule and see what's coming up with Houston and Minnesota, and you get a cup game with the Thunder, which will be awesome because it's kind of put these guys in a position where a lot of them haven't been. Something that means something here. See how players react. But yeah, I think you have to be pleasantly surprised as far as where they are right now.
And Bobby, when you watch where they are right now and the fact that they've played as many games as they have, I meof is this something that you can now expect from the Phoenix Suns going forward?
It's funny. It's a good question. It's usually you kind of have an identity of kind of who you are after 20 to 25 games, and now we're going into game 23. I would say yes, but I just think your margin is, it's not like you have, Kevin Durant to bail you out or somebody else to bail you out here. This team is more built on, team related here, where everyone has to kind of do their part. I think your wiggle room, how long is it sustainable? Some of the injuries, as you mentioned, Jalen's been out for a while, and with Grayson, and we'll see with Devin, as far as where, how sustainable it is, especially with the schedule that's coming up. That's going to be the hard thing. But I would say you got to like what you've seen. I mean, Colin's been terrific. It's like, God, you needed him like 2 years ago in your backcourt. He's been really good. And I don't know if you're going to get the Dylan Brooks performance like you saw the other night in Los Angeles offensively here. Sometimes it's like close your eyes and hopefully it goes in. But as I said, if you can defend and you can execute on offense, and they look like they've certainly bought into their new head coach, who's done a really good job so far. I do think it is somewhat sustainable. And I do think, when you guys look at the Western Conference standings, even if you go on a little bit of a skid, you look at the teams in the back end, whether it be the Clippers and Utah and some of the New Orleans, teams like that. Memphis is starting to play a little bit better here. You could at least say, hey, we're in a position for, we're going to be one of these playing spots.
Bobby, would you look at the Phoenix Suns and say they're the biggest surprise of the association right now?
I would.
You would?
Just because, I would. I think there's a lot of great stories. I think Detroit is a really terrific story as far as what they've been able to do, but they made the playoffs last year, and Oklahoma City has one loss, but they won the NBA championship here. So I would say, based on where the expectations were, which weren't very high at all, I do think it's probably it's probably the best story, in a positive way that we've seen here, just because, as I said, when nothing is expected of you, and then you come out and you win a bunch of games and you're 13-9, that builds the community that probably had lost some hope with this organization the last few years.
Talking to Bobby Marks. Bobby, you bring up Oklahoma City, the NBA Cup. The Suns are one of 8 teams that have a chance to win it, but they have to go through Oklahoma City next week. Yeah. Are the Thunder ever going to lose? I mean, they could easily be 22-0 right now. And in light of what's going on with the Clippers, man, that trade to bring in Paul George and get Kawhi, hindsight's 2020, but that's rough.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, I said this, I think it was in September. I was on NBA Today, and they asked me about the Thunder about them winning 60 games, and I said 60. How about 70? And I kind of said that tongue in cheek, and now look where we are right now with him. I think it's sustainable to go on, to challenge the record, that Golden State team from a long time ago, just because their depth is really good and they're young. What we've seen with AJ Mitchell and with him, Jalen Williams now finally gets back. They'll lose Hartenstein for a little bit here, and Shea is as good as is there anyone out there. I think the hard part for the rest of the league here is, as you mentioned, that they have the Clippers unprotected first this year. We all know where the Clippers are right now. They have the Sixers pick that's protected. They have a Jazz pick. And they got the right to swap picks with the Clippers next year, and they still have a bunch of other things coming. So, as I said, I wrote in the summer, if there's a team that can beat the second apron or defeat the second apron because their expenses are going to get higher, it's the Clippers, just based on how much young talent they have coming off the bench and how great some of these great contracts they have when you got AJ Mitchell making $3 million a year.
Bobby, when you look at Oklahoma City, what other team could challenge them? Who do you think could actually give them a series?
Well, I think we saw Denver in that second round last year, pushing them to 7 games. But Denver's got to get there healthy. They've had injuries with Christian Brown, and they've had injuries with Aaron Gordon, and they did a nice job with some of their veterans that they signed with Valanciunas and Hardaway and Brown. But I think it's it's a matter of when you're looking at the bracket down the road, who's in the 2 to 3 range? Is it? Are you ready to say that the Lakers can challenge Oklahoma City? I'm not ready to go there right now. So based on what we saw last year, I would probably put Denver, I guess, above some of these teams out there. Maybe, I don't know, Houston, just because their offense is so good, but they got to get stops. But it's going to be hard. You're probably going to need them to have, an injury down the road here. But as I said, you're out without Jalen Williams for, 20 games, and you won every one except, you won 19 out of those 20 games.
Man,
it's absurd. Talking to Bobby Marks. Bobby, just circling back to the Suns for a second. They obviously haven't had Jalen Green much this year, basically not even a game and a half. When they get him back, it's easy to fall into this thought of, well, they're just going to start winning more whenever they get him back. Is it that simple, or do you foresee they're going to have to move some things around because the combination right now is working about as well as you could hope for?
Yeah, I think what you'll get from him and what they'll be able to benefit, because I do think this from a scoring standpoint, I think defensively you've been really good. I almost wanted to take that Bill Simmons bet that he made in the beginning of the year, saying this was going to be the worst defensive team in the NBA this year. But I think what Jalen will be able to give you is certainly a lot more offensive punch that you don't have right now. I don't see it disrupting. Maybe you go 3-guard lineup with him, Colin and Devin there. You got 3 guys that can handle the ball, which is really nice to have. But I think it will be a positive there as far as the ability for him. When he played the 1 or 2 games here, I thought he was pretty good. So I don't see him disrupting as far as what you have. I just think he'll give you more offense than what you probably don't have right now.
Bobby, did you see the last game that Colin Gillespie played? Did you see it against the Lakers?
Listen, I'm still kicking myself. Yes. I had an article out about a month ago on guys who are going to be free agents who are like my all free agent team. And I left him off it. And I really I started writing about him, and I was like, oh, he hasn't, I like what I've seen, but I need more. And then he's taken off. And I was like, can I do a reprint on this article? I saw him last year in the second half. I know he was on that 2-way and everything here, but I like everything about him. I like his toughness. I know there's going to be a lot of people comparing him to TJ McConnell and some of these other point guards out there, which is fair or unfair here. But he can score the ball. He's tough. He can defend. He brings a calmness. He's like that quarterback out there that's probably not going to get all pro, nominations or all these things, but just brings a really good presence to this team.
Bobby, why weren't they playing him more last year? I know you have no say over this.
They should have been.
Yeah,
they should have been, because the numbers, let's say what you want to say about analytics or stats or however you want to call it. The numbers said that Phoenix was a better team with Colin on the court. So yeah, he should have been he should have been on the court, and fortunately, you've seen what you guys seen it through the first 22, 23 games. Some really good things, and I would expect his minutes to probably increase as this thing goes along.
Bobby, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, man.
You too. That's Bobby Marks joining us right there on the Arizona Sports Line. Yeah,
I had to kick him in the cradle.
That trade, that Kawhi trade, basically it was a Paul George trade, but it was to get Kawhi. The fact that the Thunder are still getting picks from the Clippers and also got SGA in that trade,
man,
like that might destroy the Clippers for a decade, honestly. And I know hindsight 2020, right? You were trying to get Kawhi, I get it, but man, that was brutal and still is brutal. And brutal for everybody, by the way, because the Thunder keep getting high first-round picks when they are 21-1.
So good.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.